Hey, how's it going, everyone? Today we are talking about 2001 sports musical Lagaan. In particular, I'll be talking about how Ashutosh Gowariker uses color and wardrobe to symbolize neocolonialism, colonists, and the rebellion against such powers. I'm specifically wearing colorful stuff today since we're talking about color. We're going to take a look at some of Lagaan's most poignant characters and analyze the colors they wear throughout the film, and then relate that back to neocolonialism. But before we do that, let's look at this film's director, Ashutosh Gowariker. Ashutosh Gowariker, born February 4th, 1964, is an Indian director, producer, screenwriter, and actor who works primarily in Indian Hindi cinema. Gowariker started his career as an actor, first premiering in a 1984 film called Holly, where he actually met Amir Khan, who plays Bhuvan in Lagaan. He would then go on to act in multiple different roles between 1987 to 1993, and actually recently returned to acting in his 2016 lead role in the show Ventilator. Gowariker's directorial debut started in 1993 with Pela Nasha, followed by Bazi in 1995. Upon release, both of these films surprisingly actually got horrible reviews and are actually box office disasters. Lagaan would then go on to win awards for Best Film twice, Best Director, and then Best Story. And since then, every project he's either worked on, directed, produced, or acted in has been very successful. But today, we're going to focus on the turning point in Gowariker's film career, 2001's Lagaan. Alright, let's talk some color theory. The color white. It's a color that symbolizes perfection, purity, cleanliness. All things commonly felt in colonizer mindsets. In this film, you'll see the colonizers, Captain Russell, his sister Elizabeth, his cronies on the cricket team, head to toe, dressed in white. They think they're better than the natives. They think they're at the top, and the natives are down here. Wherever they might go, not just the village of Champaneer. Accenting the color white, they often wear red, either in their hats or in their jackets. And red, in color theory, is a color of power, passion, danger, aggression, and blood. And it's interesting to see that the king of the area, who has to be like the mouthpiece between the colonizers and the natives, adopt these colors. He wears both red and white, but keeps his native head wrap. But the main part of his wardrobe is that of the colonizers. And it's not just their clothing that's white, it's their jewelry, Elizabeth's parasol, the white picket fence outside their HQ, the building that they stay in itself. It's all clinically white. And this is, of course, reminiscent of, the white skin of the colonizer. Even Ramsey, one of the servants for the colonizers, wears a white head wrap. Now, let's take a moment to look at Elizabeth, because Elizabeth is a very interesting character. She wears white from head to toe, but what's interesting to note is that at the very end of the film, when she's telling everybody goodbye, she can be seen wearing gray. And I don't think this was just on accident. Let's put it like this, symbolically. If the colonizers are all white, then it would only make sense in terms of color theory and in this hypothetical that the natives would represent black. And what sits in the middle between white and black but gray? In color theory, gray is a color of compromise. You often hear about people talking about when things aren't, one way or the other, it's a gray area. Elizabeth is white, a colonizer from a more developed country, but she loves and has learned from the people of Champaneer. So, she doesn't quite agree with who she's meant to agree with, but she's not a native. So she's in the middle. Gray also appears on Ramsey, the servant who wears the white head wrap. He is also in the middle. He is a native, but he has to listen to the colonizers. He has to bend to their whim. So, he's not all the way to the right, but he's not all the way to the left. An interesting thing to point out, and I really love this detail, during the cricket game, where Ramsey is announcing the score, Captain Russell gets so mad that he walks up to him and slaps the white head wrap off of him. And that's symbolic in that moment that he loses that colonizer part to him, because that's when Ramsey and the other natives stick up to Captain Russell verbally. He literally, in that moment, took it out from Ramsey's body. Now let's compare this to what the natives wear. The villagers of Champaneer are farmers, so they wear clothes that are meant to withstand farming. Clothes that are meant to be out in the sun and get dirty and get torn, not the clinical white that the second that there's any dirt on it is ruined like the colonizers wear. The juxtaposition comes in the form of a fashion statement and functionality. Let's also take characters like Glory, for instance. Look at what she's wearing. She wears orange, green, and white. And what colors make up the Indian flag if not orange, green, and white? In this way, Gauri not only represents her village, Champaneer, but she represents all of India. She represents all natives. And this is just another contrast between what the colonizers wear and what the natives wear. All of this to say that what these characters are wearing in this movie are more than just costumes. They should be viewed as bigger than themselves, because they are. On one side we have oppression and colonialism. On the other side we have authenticity and the oppressed. I think Gowarikar is a master visual storyteller who uses these colors and wardrobe choice to help the audience to further understand the conflict between the colonizer and the colonized. Anyway, I hope I was able to articulate that point well, and I hope you liked it, and if you did, I'll see you next week.